All right. Welcome to the stream. Tim Barnes, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford Salina. Glad you could join me. Sorry I'm just a few minutes late, but there was a couple last pictures to add to the presentation live stream today. So I want to go ahead and get started. I think my audio is real good, and moderator will be in here real soon. But I do want to thank you for joining the live stream. We're going to talk a lot about Maverick, but we're going to start off by talking about some things that are, possibly that scheduling this week. If you have a vehicle on order, maybe you're kind of waiting for that on a couple of the that up this Thursday. Some of those scheduling production, for most of them, for a November build. One of them is 21 Bronco, so a lot of people still waiting for the Broncos. It looks like probably primarily soft tops are going to probably be scheduled for this week, so I think we have patients for this week. So hopefully we get a couple previewing right now, and also 21 Ranger as well that are previewing. So got 21 Rangers coming up. I think their closeout is September 30th. So balance out. I should get those orders in if you want Ranger for this year. Also 21 Expedition. Navigators also supposed to be scheduled well, so you can put that in. Of course, 22 Expedition. About the new changes to the Expedition. Looking forward to that. Of course, you did Navigator had some new as well, so we're going to be able to get that out. So my audio okay? You're on. Oh, hold on a second. How's that? That better? Okay, there we go. There. I actually forgot about my mics. We're good to go now. Sorry about that, folks. But we will kind of get started. In case you missed out, scheduling for this week so far, we know of 21 Broncos should be scheduling. So it looks like soft tops primarily. And I did mention, I don't know if you heard it or not, we're getting about 6 allocations for McArthur for those. A lot of all of our first edition scheduled last week, and then also 21 Ranger is scheduling this week. So if you're wanting to get one of those last 21 Rangers, looks like balance out's coming up at the end of this month. So you definitely want to get one of those ordered if you're thinking you want to get one, as well as 21 Expedition and 21 Navigator. So both of those are going to be you want to get those in as well, because both of those are balancing out October 7th. So a little bit of time left. Get those orders in if you're wanting a 21 Expedition. Of course, we did see recently the 22 Navigator did get a lot of great impacts and a lot of different things added to it, as well as Expedition. We're going to get news on that real soon, and I'll be doing a reveal video on that as well when we get some information on that. Also, the 22 Super Duties retail only, so the retail would be customer builds, so not any stock scheduling this week, but all for you customers out there that have 22 Super Duties on order. They're going to try to push as many of those and schedule as many of those as they can for I believe that's for October production, so that's coming up real soon. Also 22 Transit Connect van and wagons, also for retail customers too, for that. And then of course, a lot of you wanting to know, 22 Maverick will be scheduling this week. Hybrids and EcoBoost. Like I mentioned last week, what went out on social media was, it was really a 1 week note for dealers. It wasn't really supposed to go out to the public necessarily, just because, we want to get you everybody all worked up, but they were just trying to finish out allocations, and what they had left over was they need to fill up some EcoBoost allocations, and that's why we did see, some of those allocations were just EcoBoost and not hybrids. It was just for that week to finish out the week. We do have 45 allocations. It looks like all of them are going to be fulfilled this week. So if you have an order in with McArthur, 45 of you out there should get scheduled this week for allocations and for production, I should say. And I think 18 of those, right now what's previewing is about 18 hybrids and the rest EcoBoost, which ends up being about 30% of the mix. Hybrid to EcoBoost for our dealership. So, and again, that's what's previewing. What happens actually by Thursday could change a little bit there. I did see some, we'll talk about that in just a second. I want to talk about first edition here in a little bit, but we will get that going on. All right, so also just to kind of start up for production for 22, keep in mind 22 Bronco Sport orders can be taken, as well as 22 Edge, 22 Transit, and 22 Nautilus. Those orders can be taken, and September 23rd is when we're going to see scheduling start up for production for those. I believe all those are for November startups. Looks like. So if you're wanting to get a 22 in and want to get early 22, go ahead and get those orders in, whether it be with us, with your local dealer. Now the order banks are open for those. You should be able to do that. I do want to share a couple things before we get into Q&A, and I do have quite a few little frequently asked questions of things I noticed on social media this week, whether it be on Reddit or on Facebook, some things that just kind of triggered me that I wanted to talk about today. And so I didn't talk about. So we're going to start talking about the Maverick. And one of the things that's really cool that you can see with that, talking about off-road capabilities, a lot of people I've seen out there saying, hey, are we going to be able to put a lift on the Maverick? Are we going to be able to do some things? I will tell you this, since the Maverick is kind of built on the same DNA as the Bronco Sport, let me show you what we've done here at McArthur to a Bronco Sport. So we call this our LMX4 package. Oh no. Let me bring that over. Sorry. So there's our LMX4 package we do on our Bronco Sport. So you can see we do put a front suspension lift on that. So 2-inch front suspension lift on the front. So we'd be able to do that same thing to a Maverick. And then we put some black wheels, off-road tires on it on the outside. Really makes it look really sharp there. And then hopefully this looks all right. Oh, in the right place when I started. There we go. So there's kind of a close-up of the wheel and tire there. Somehow these got moved around as I added some pictures in there that I did at the last second, kind of moved everything around. But there you go, kind of a wheel and tire combination. We should be able to get that similar wheel and tire for the Maverick as well. And then here is, bear with me, folks. There is the interior. So we actually dropped this off in Kansas City at Top King, and we have them. That's custom leather that they worked with us on, with two-tone leather there, black and the gray, to kind of match up with that. And so we add that leather to the interior of this package as well. So it's an interior exterior package. We call it the LMX4 package, and we do this to a lot of our trucks, SUVs. We have the same package on an Expedition STX, where we have the custom leather, diamond stitched leather on that, like I have in my truck, as well as some nice off-road wheels, tires, and a level kit. We do it on the F-150, which is the vehicle we started this on, as well as we do it for a Ranger as well. So we have a really cool, in fact, right now our aftermarket manager is driving the LMX4 Ranger that we have in the Cactus Gray, and it's a great looking truck as well. So just keep that in mind. So if you want to do something cool like that, that can be done, and you can be able to see that. So also want to show you, somebody had asked, and one of the frequently asked questions that I have right here is people have kind of asked about the stock units. So people have been kind of out there on social media saying, why is it that the stock units are being delivered to the dealership before our retail units? And that's not true. Today was the first day that we got the okay to buy, which means now they're going to be shipped out. So those stock units were built the last several weeks before retail production started up. But a lot of those were waiting for the okay to be able to ship those and okay to be able to buy those. So you're going to see stock units show up about the same time as some of the first retail units show up to the dealerships. So they're going to kind of come together. So we won't see only stock units hitting the dealerships a couple weeks before the retail units. They should come about the same time. So they got that okay. Now that was on the EcoBoost. EcoBoost got the okay to buy, but not the hybrid yet. I think hybrid's just waiting for fuel economy numbers there. And I know some people have some window stickers out there, and they're frustrated they can't see the miles per gallon yet. And I think that's just because they're not, Ford's not allowed to yet until we get some of the miles per gallon by fuel economy. .gov to be able to get that information, I believe, and get that out to us. So if somebody knows a quiet answer, I believe I'm right on that, but if not, go ahead and put that down in the comments so everybody can see that. But so there you go. There's some of the things to keep in mind. So we're not going to see stock units, but you got to keep in mind Ford does want to send out some stock units to dealers because they have those vehicles here for people that you know, there are some people out there that are like, I want to drive it before I order one. There are a lot of people like that. Hey, I want to test drive. Give me that test drive. I want to have that test drive. And that way, having a vehicle on the lot that they can drive allows them to be able to test drive that vehicle and then see whether or not they want to order one. So that's why we're seeing some of those stock units at the dealership. So somebody asked me, this was a really good question. We had a customer come in this week and said, hey, you know, I actually switched mine to an EcoBoost, not because of the hybrid, the message on the hybrid last week, but because they realized that he does a lot of highway driving, and that the EcoBoost, you know, helps him get up to speed real easy, and it really doesn't, it just kind of works for him because he does a lot of highway driving. Maybe we should, you know, discuss that, because if you do a lot of highway driving, the hybrid may not be the perfect fit for you. I'm getting a hybrid because that vehicle is going to be driven around town. So it's going to get a great fuel economy around town when normally it would be a lot less in the city, and then we're not going to drive on the highway much. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Then you can also, you know, you may decide to go with the hybrid or the EcoBoost. So keep that in mind, you know, so also keep in mind that, like, just like with this for this week, about 30% of our allocations or our orders are probably going to go to hybrids, and the other 70% are going to be EcoBoost vehicles. So we might see that shift. You know, keep in mind, always, you know, at the very beginning of a new engine, new motor, just like with this one, you're going to see it's going to roll out a little bit slower at the beginning, and then once they get things ramped up, they get supplies up, then we're going to see more and more of them scheduled. So just be patient with Ford on that, and make sure, you know, you don't want to rush them. We want to have a good product and a good launch, and so they want to have the best launch possible, and they want to make sure that, you know, you get a vehicle that doesn't end up in the shop. So you want to make sure that it's, you know, they're going to test it and make sure that it's performing what they want to and where they expect it to before they ship those vehicles out. So keep that in mind with that. And I keep saying keep that in mind, so I'll try not to say that so much. Okay, also the Rapid Red for first edition. So we heard Rapid Red was a late availability. It is now going to be available for November production. So we are going to see some first editions start being scheduled. We already have seen some already being scheduled, Carbonized Gray or the Area 51. But those that want that Rapid Red, that you should hopefully see that being you know, looked at, possibly being scheduled for November production. So this week, I'm looking forward to it on Thursday to see, you know, what's being scheduled, because I really think that we're going to see a lot of first editions scheduled with that Rapid Red and get those going. I did notice we had one person at the dealership here that ordered a first edition and the Rapid Red, and it's at the priority code is down to 2. It doesn't look like it's previewing, but it looks like it's close. So maybe, you know, maybe the next week, or maybe, you know, coming up soon. So some of you out there that are dealerships where you maybe don't have a lot, you may see some of those first editions being given out there. Also, people ask, what is the priority code 2? Maybe, hey, my vehicle's been down at priority 2 according to my dealership, and it hasn't been scheduled for several weeks. Why is that? And I don't know if I explained this last week or not, but sometimes when it's in that priority code 2, that means the region drops that down to 2 because they want to look at it, because they think, hey, that's a vehicle that maybe we want to schedule if there is an opening. But the dealer does have to have allocations. So we're finding out, you know, some dealerships, they may not have any allocations for this month or for that week, or maybe they used in the first week. So yours is sitting in 2 until they have allocations. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it may not be that your dealership needs allocations, but your region is maybe out of allocations, or they're looking for something else instead, and that's why it's down that priority code 2. Now, somebody else said that they would like to make a change to their order, but it's sitting in that priority 2. It should lift, from what I understand, it should come back to 10 after the week is for scheduling. So after they've done the scheduling for the week, then that should pop back to 10 like on Friday, maybe Saturday, and then they should be able to make changes up to Monday before it may drop down to 2 again. So I actually had to happen with my Bronco. It was priority 2 one week. It came back up to 10 on that Thursday, didn't schedule, and that Thursday, Friday, when it didn't schedule, it was back to 10, and I could make changes if I wanted to. I didn't make any changes, and then the next week it went ahead and it scheduled for production. So, you know, that can happen, and so keep that in mind. When some people ask, when can I make changes? What kind of, you know, can I make them once it's been scheduled? once your vehicle has been scheduled for production, it cannot be changed. So Ford wants to, lock that in. They're pulling that build in for production because it's one that they think they can build based on the commodity they have, based on the parts they have and supplies they have. If you go to change that, that could really mess up the factory and slow the factory down, or maybe even move that one back. So you don't want to really change it. So Ford doesn't like to be able to have that change. So you really kind of locked in once that vehicle is scheduled. So right now, if you have a vehicle on order, you want to go in, make sure it's the way you want it built, so that way it can get scheduled the way it wants to. And I know, dealers are telling people, oh, take this off, take that off, and then things change. And we understand that. And, so make your changes, prior to that Tuesday, and then know you're good that way. And so some of those changes. So one of the things that people have asked is the commodity. We did on our wholesale. One of the things that they did tell us is that, I remember understanding that correctly, that so on the Maverick, it did say tonneau covers was a commodity constraint. That looks like maybe they'd be low on some parts, and that we did see some scheduled last week, so it may not be that they're completely out, but maybe they're low. And so like last week we did see some with tonneau covers that it did get pulled, but maybe this week we may not see so many get pulled with the bed covers. So I'm not saying if you take it off you're going to get scheduled, and I'm not saying that if you don't take it off it won't get scheduled. Really, it really just depends on supplies at the factory, and especially for each region, it's a little different. So I've kind of said, like I mentioned last week, if you want to make it a very simple build for Ford, get those things later, get those bed covers at your dealer later, and your dealer can get those. We actually last week we talked about some of the different parts that are available, including bed covers. I want to kind of share something with you, because somebody had said they talked to their dealer and their dealer cannot get those, they can't order those, but we were able to. This week we ordered about 10 bed covers, and here we go. There you go. They are actually at the dealership already. So if you have a vehicle on order with McArthur and you want a bed cover, then we have some already ready to go. We went ahead and ordered them. We can put your name on them. Those are there, as well as we do also have, we did get some tray line, or some of the floor liners as well, and we got a bunch of splash guards. So splash guards is a late availability item, and we have some of those as well in stock. That we ordered a bunch of that. I think $5,000 worth of parts that we ordered for our different custom builds for those customers out there that are wanting those. So if you're out there, if you have a order in with McArthur and with us, and maybe you don't have a bed, you took the tonneau cover off, or you want the floor liners and you didn't add that to your build, or splash guards, reach out to your salesperson, and so we can get your name put on one of those for you, so it's ready to go. And if we run out, we'll order more. So they are available, and they are available for order. So there's kind of a proof there that those are available. Now, somebody did ask me a question earlier this week about being able to see what it looks like for those hard tonneau covers. So let me share a few and see if these pictures come out right here. There we go. So there is a used truck out here on a used lot. I took this picture today. So that is a trifold, a hard aluminum trifold cover. That's with it closed. That's with it shut. You can see there's some wires underneath there. You pull those wires, and that's how it folds up. And then when you fold it all the way up, there we go. So that's what it looks like folded all the way up. Somebody wondered, would it sit up against the back of the cab? And yes, it would. There are straps on the other side, as well as right here. You can kind of, maybe on the top of that, you can kind of see there is actually a rod usually that can hold that up into place, so that way it doesn't fall back down while you're driving. If you want to leave it up, leave something in there. So that's how those are going to look when it is folded up. Here's one of my favorite, is the roll-up cover, and it's my favorite. That I even did a video on this. We had a used truck come in with a roll-up bed cover, and I liked it so much I went ahead and did a little video on my own personal channel. So check this video out here, so you can see. I'm doing this one hand, and I'm holding the camera with one hand and using the other hand to open it up. So it just you have a latch on both sides, and then you just roll it up. And what I think I like the best about this is what it looks like when it's rolled up. I love the Ford oval on the back of that roll-up bed cover. Just looks awesome on the truck when you have it rolled up. You can lock it into place. There are some loops. You just I don't really show them in there, but you do have some straps that go around and hold that in place. And then look, when you want to close it. You just push it and it closes, and then you just press it down and it locks into place. So I think this aluminum one, I think this is the one that's available, the roll-up one. I think it's $11.69, which is not a bad price. I think it's more expensive than that on F-150. So I love that bed cover. I think it's one of my favorites there. So let's answer some questions here. I think I've covered most of the things I wanted to. By the way, I'm going to put this out, and if anybody notices, Jeff, if you notice anybody saying anything, but we do have the Kansas State Fair and Hutch going on right now. Some people had mentioned, is the Maverick going to be at the State Fair? And if anybody's been at the State Fair, let me know if you did see it out there. If it is, I will head over there tomorrow or Thursday, and we'll do a video out there of the Maverick, but I don't know it is. But if anybody knows, let me know. My daughter's actually heading over for a concert, I think tomorrow night or Thursday night. So if so, I'll head out. She'll let me know. She'll walk around at the fair and let us know. Anyway, all right, so any questions? Hey, Jeff, gonna just drop a note in there. Any major questions that you saw that we can answers? A lot of questions in here. So of course, tag me, tag Long McArthur. Just go at Long and it'll pop up if you have your question there. If I ordered a bed extender from the dealer, is there a rough estimate on when I should expect it? So you ordered the bed extender from the dealership, is that? I think that's what you're saying there. You a lot of times, if you order it before you ordered your vehicle, a lot of times it'll come in just like our bed covers did. It'll come in ahead of time, and then they should put your name on it so that when your Maverick gets there, then they can go ahead and put that on. So, and I think I did answer. It looks like someone asked, or up there at the top, Neil, you asked about the first edition with the Rapid Red. So when we say November production, that's the dates that we're going to see this week. So you should possibly, a first edition with the Rapid Red could get scheduled this Thursday for November productions. We're seeing November what? I think November 1, November 8 for production days, or weeks, I should say. So we could see those come up. A couple of people have asked about they love the LED light on that signature light on the Lariat headlamp. And then the top part, you don't get that on the XL XLT. So some people have asked if that's something they could order through parts and have that put on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how well it can connect, whether or not that wiring can be done, whether or not it could just be unplugged. You can plug the old headlights on, put new ones on. You know, I'm assuming so, because I know that you can get aftermarket LED lights, headlights for F-150s and such. So I'm assuming that can somehow be accomplished. You know, that probably should be able to get done, but I would probably go check with your service department, parts department, if that's something you're wanting done. I haven't actually tried it myself, so I'm not sure. Okay, whoa, there we go. Now I'm getting tagged on some. Any thoughts about it taking so long to get official miles per gallon numbers for the hybrid? You know, not really. I mean, not really sure, you know, what, you know, that the holdup might be. You know, I think they're just waiting for fueleconomy.gov to get their official numbers. And so it was a little bit easier on the EcoBoost, because we did see the EcoBoost engine in some of the others, since it's similar platform to the Escape hybrid, or I mean the Escape with the EcoBoost and the Bronco Sport with the EcoBoost, that we were able to get those numbers probably a little quicker. You know, we were able to produce those because stock units with the EcoBoost are being produced, so they were able to get those numbers. Whereas on the Maverick, I think they're kind of waiting on that. So they're kind of Ford's hands, I think, are tied on that. But we should see those here real soon, I believe. Are there any updates to the Maverick's constraint items since the last August 30th list? No, we get that. That's a once a month constraint commodity we have at our wholesale, and so the last one we have. So if there's any changes, usually it'll come in our scheduling notes once a week. And there wasn't anything on the Maverick this week, other than Maverick hybrids would be scheduled this week, as someone already posted on social media. We did see that. So the trifold cover delay my order. Again, I'm not sure on the tonneau covers. They did say that they're gonna, you know, lower the amount of tonneau covers that they pull, but just because of the amount of parts that they have and such, and getting that from the different vendors that they use. I think they use Rev for the hard folding and the roll-up bed covers. So you know, it's about, you know, them getting them. And like I said, we were able to get some, So if you do have, a tonneau cover, you can get it from your dealership. Even right now, they can order them and they can get them in before your Maverick even shows up, and shouldn't have any issues. So I mean, that's why I'm saying, take some of these things maybe off your build. Know that you can add it, afterwards. And not saying that if you add the tonneau cover, it'll schedule. It still might. And the bed covers on the first edition shouldn't stop them from being scheduled either, because they come with it. Anytime usually anytime a package comes with something and there may be a constraint on that as a standalone option, it shouldn't affect the packages being scheduled. Floor liners and stock, are they the deep box all-weather type? They're the factory ones. These are the ones that we were able to order. So the same ones that you can get that you're getting from the factory. I'm not sure if you'd consider that deep box. I think I think they did call them the tray style, but we didn't actually open them up yet and look at them. Any news on 21 Escape scheduling, specifically the plug-in hybrid? Actually, I did. I think we can go ahead and order the 22. 21 is done. I think it's been balanced out. So I think you can't. I think some of the 21s are finishing up production, and startup for that page. Startup for 22 is on Escape is coming up. Right. I had that in my notes. Where's that page? Here it is. Okay, so 22 Escape, the plug-in hybrids are going to start up production in November. So you can go ahead and order those. It looks like, I think, coming up probably later this month, maybe October is probably when we're going to see them being scheduled. So if you're wanting a 22 plug-in Escape, then go ahead and get your order into your local dealer. Fog lights be added to the XLT after delivery. You can probably get some aftermarket fog lights and probably add those to those. It shouldn't be too hard to wire those in and have those added. Just like you can most other trucks, you can add. We get the rigid lights a lot on some of our aftermarket vehicles. You should be able to get those and have those put on your truck if you want. What about the other first edition colors? I've had my order in. Okay, so the other colors other than Rapid Red, which is late availability, the other two were not. The Area 51 as well as the Carbonized Gray were available. And I think a couple of weeks ago, someone did say that they've had a first edition schedule. So again, it may have to do with allocations your dealership has. It really depends on, where, what allocations your dealership has. So, there's a lot of varying variables into how vehicles get pulled, not just what order you're in, but also has to do with your region as well as your dealer allocations for that month. So keep that in mind. May have nothing to do with the fact that they're not pulling those types of builds, but that your region or your dealership may not have allocations, and that's why yours hasn't been pulled for production yet. Last week somebody said I said I'm a lot, so I'll try not to. My dealer has 200 orders. Well, I see my pickup this year. It really depends on, of course, when you order it, how you ordered it, and also how many allocations they have. We have over 300 orders, and we have 45 allocations this month. So it looks like we're going to be able to process through them. And I know that December is going to be a big production month for them for Maverick, so they're going to ramp up and go a little bit faster. So hopefully we'll see a lot more. If we have 45 allocations this month and they're going to almost double production for December, then we could see possibly 100 or 90 or 100 for our dealership for the next month. So we'll see more and more get scheduled here real soon. So maybe this week. So just your fingers crossed there. So how many Mavericks have been built already? I don't know. I haven't heard any numbers yet. So be a great question. Maybe I'll try to reach out to the brand manager and see if I can get that information. Not sure. McArthur ordered the 400-watt inverter for the inside of the cab. Is it possible to order the 120-volt outlet setup that goes in the bed from parts department and install it? That's a great question. The trainer that came in said that those Kubbi areas are still there, and there's those covers are over that. So he made it, really sound like you might be able to get maybe some of all those parts together and wire it yourself, or have, service department wired or somebody wired in, and you might be able to do that. Not sure. You may have to install another inverter in the back of the back seat for the rear, for the bed itself. I'm not an electrician, so I'm not gonna say how that needs to be done, but maybe that's something that I ask our service department to see if that's something possible, being able to. And we'll know a lot more once we see these Mavericks start hitting the lots as well, for what different things we were able to do with those. Oh, okay. How long does it take from production to delivery at a dealer typically? Okay, normally once you get a production date, like let's say some of you out there have had a vehicle built this week, you could sometimes, we usually say about 4 weeks from the time it's built to the time it hits the dealership. I'm saying 4 to 6 weeks, just because this being a launch, they may want to take a little more time to spec those vehicles before they ship them out. So just keep that in mind. Just allow, keep in mind that probably that 4 to 6 weeks. I know a lot of dealers are telling their customers 4 weeks and it'll be at the dealership, and I hate saying 4 weeks and then end up being 6 weeks, and then for 2 weeks you're upset and such. So just keep in mind it could be a little longer, especially with there's a lot of transport drivers out there needing to transport these, so sometimes it can take a little longer. So but 4 to 6 weeks I think is a good guess there. You think instead of ordering the bed mat, tonneau cover, and splash guards through Ford factory, should have your accessory department? So that is something, like I said, we don't have the bed mat ordered, but we could order the bed mat for you. But we do have some tonneau covers already. We could put your name on it, as well as splash guards, and just add that to your to your buyer's order when if we can, and we can just show you what that's going to look like. And I think what we're doing, next week, I'm going to have Blake, our aftermarket manager. He's going to be with me on the live stream next week. So we already talked together. He's going to come in and he'll be able to answer some questions, but I think he's going to do something for our customers for pricing on installs that'll make a lot of people happy. So because the tonneau covers are the same price as they are at the factory, but then you have to have them installed at the dealer. And our guys are really good at installing these, and we have, his department isn't just the sales reps. We have 3 of those, but we also have about 3 or 4 guys that do the spray and liners. We do the window tint. They also install bed covers right in their bay instead of through our service department, because they're that good at it, and they do so many of them that we can just do them right here in the dealership in the bay, and get that installed for you. And so we may do a little special. We'll talk about it next week. And that's something that way it doesn't cost you any extra. McArthur, just curious why you can't get black wheels on the XL or XL interior, or XL interior on the XLT. Well, they're really trying to make those models different. So they want to make it unique. So there's a kind of a purpose behind each of the trims. If they made the wheels that are available on XLT on the XL, and they allowed cruise, and they did all the things you get on XLT, there wouldn't be a reason to go up to the XLT. So, and also going up to another trim, there's a discount for those. So instead of adding all those things that you can get, and the XLT is a great value going up to that. It's only what is it, $2,200 to go to XLT. And when you look at it, maybe I've talked about this in past weeks, but you gain a lot out of the XLT. You have the upgraded grille, of course. You have a different look on the grille. You get your power mirrors with the blind spot mirror. You get the Kubbi in the back. You get more tie downs in the back, so more flexibility in that flex bed. Power tailgate, I think, is a big deal. Being able to use a remote to lock the tailgate. And then you get the black wheels that dresses that up. I mean, the wheels in itself upgrade to go from the steel wheels to the black wheels is almost $1,000 right there. And then of course you have your cruise control as well, which aftermarket cruise is about $600, or no, $400 to $600. You get an upgraded premium cloth seats, you get the wiper activated headlights, and you get the keypad on the entry. That is a great value to go from the XL to the XLT. It's not just about cruise for some people, getting full power in a sense. I think the XLT is a great value. I ordered the XLT with the luxury package because I think that luxury package is a nice package as well for what it costs, and you get a lot of features there as well. So I think they want to differentiate each model as being able to be distinct and different look. Otherwise, you know, why go up to a trim and such? So they do have to have those different those different things. Now, whether the interior you can get that in an all black instead of having the orange accents, I guess I could see that and maybe making it that way. But when that vehicle was here, those orange accents in the console, those can be taken out. So I don't know if you did see my video walk around I did on that, but those are silicone that just sit inside there, and they can be pulled out completely. And I even mentioned, even on the door handles where there's orange accents, that there's screws to holding that in. So you could probably unscrew it and take that orange piece out, probably have it painted in a local body shop. Really nice. You want black instead, paint it black, screw it back on. Then you have no orange accents other than the vents, which you probably could, you know, you could vinyl wrap those as well. So if somebody doesn't like the orange accents, that could be done pretty easily, and you still have all the features of the XLT. So hopefully I explained that well for that, but I think that's just a great way of looking at it, going on up to that. So my hybrid is scheduled for this week, and delivery is scheduled for October 4th here in Ontario. Okay, I would assume your dealer is scheduling delivery for you there, and if it's scheduled to be built the week, oh, it was scheduled this week for delivery for October, or first to be built, I assume is what we're talking about there. Thank you. EcoBoost are scheduled. Going to Mustang Hybrid. We have an all electric called the Mach-E. That's the way to go there. There's your 22 Mustang, and you go to the Mach-E. There's, I mean, if you want to see performance, that's a pretty cool car. You got to get in it, drive one of those, and experience that, because that's the way to go there. If you want some EV type of technology in a Mustang, you go to the Mach-E there. Oh, Judy in Arizona, make sure you get a hold of us. Get a hold of your salesperson, and we get mark that one of those tonneau covers there for you. I think we ordered 4 hard folding tonneau covers, 1 roll up, and 4 soft, maybe. I think something like that. So, but we can always order more of those for any of our other customers that are needing. So, all right, Ridgeview, your plan as well. So, yep. Just get a hold of us. We'll mark those to you guys. Offering anything below invoice or waiving a transportation fee. Did you answer this? Now, there are 2 different fees. Now, if you're seeing a destination fee on your vehicle, it's on your window sticker. That is the cost from going to the factory to the dealership. That is a fee that's going to be on every vehicle from the factory. Now, we are doing free shipping if you finance with us, and that's shipping it from us to you. And there are some dealerships that are doing below invoice out there. You can find those. There's on Reddit as well as on Maverick Truck Club. There's a couple of dealers that are doing that. Here, we're not. We're doing MSRP, but we are doing the free shipping and the convenience of that. So we call it our easy way here at McArthur, because we take care of the hassle of having to try to transport it and such, and we can have it delivered right to your door. So you don't have to take a step into a dealership. We deliver it right to your door for free if you finance it. So that's how we're doing that. A lot of customers taking advantage of that convenience right there. All right, but yeah, you can just reach out to those dealers. I know there's a couple of them. I'm sure some people can tell you on Maverick Truck Club. I think one dealership actually posted something just this week, so you should be able to find that trending top of the Maverick Truck Club forum. For all the questions for you, yeah, I should. At the dealership here, probably the most knowledgeable, and but yeah, you're right. We need to have more people, but to answer the questions, my priority says 2. That's good. David, so that means, you know, if you're in 2, then it's your Ford's looking at your order real closely, and hopefully you can get scheduled real soon. I would love to have the interior in black. So I'm the same way. I like black interior. I actually kind of did like the orange interior when it's here. Just something different, but I also have red stitching on the interior of my seats too, so I don't mind a little bit of red accent, you know, on that. And I think the Maverick, the orange, isn't so bad. I mean, so maybe, you know, get an XLT, get inside, see what you think and how you like it. I think I like the interior of the XLT a little bit better than the Lariat trim myself. But if you're someone out there that maybe, you know, you're going up to Lariat because you want leather, keep in mind there are a lot of different custom leather shops out there that you can add leather to it, and you can go ahead and get the other convenience. So, because the XLT luxury package, you can get heated seats, so that comes with the XLT luxury package, and then you can add leather if you want. Did that on my truck. All right, my Maverick is scheduled for the week of 9/20. Will they let me know this week the day it will be built? Not. That's a good question, and I'm not sure. I believe you get like a notification. Or I think on the Bronco was this way. When it switches to the day, it will, I think, will let you know that, and you should be able to pull your window sticker as well. Because I think when you pull your window sticker, I think at the bottom down there, it will have your build date on there of what day it's supposed to be built. So once you can pull that window sticker, I know a lot of people were scheduled for this week were getting their window stickers over the weekend. So probably a day, the day of or the day after, you should be able to get. Hopefully, you get notification. So let me know if you can get that notification. I'd be able to let everybody else know as well. What does priority number 19 mean as far as scheduling? Could you answer this? Okay, so basically, on when a dealership submits your order, they can have that order priority code anywhere from 10 to 19. So the default for Ford's system is when you add that order in there is to give you priority code 19. And then the region will look at the builds and then they will pull it down below 10. So we always switch ours to priority code 10 for our customers. And then sometimes we just leave that, we'll leave 19. We do have a couple, most of ours are at 10. We do have a couple at 15, 19, some like employees and such, because we want our customers to kind of get theirs. And so we do have, some of those. But typically, if your dealership uses that 19 for all of their orders, then you're in that line with everybody else there. And really, it's looking at the day your order was submitted, and not necessarily the priority code number, unless you have a priority code that's a 10 and then everybody else is a 19. That could be. So if you're at a dealership and you've gone into them and said, hey, this dealership says that you need to move my priority code up to 10 and everybody else at the dealership is 19, then yours could be looked at before theirs. So if you do have a dealership that puts everybody at 19, you can go in and ask what they'll put it to 10, and that would kind of move you up on their list. But typically you'd be in line with everybody else if they all use. Upgrading my order to XLT if it doesn't get scheduled this. I think it's a pretty good build. Again, you're getting a lot of value there for $20. So still 19. Is this bad news? No. It's not bad news if yours is still in between 10 and 19. That just means that there's people maybe in front of you and such. And keep in mind, there are a lot of people that have ordered a Maverick. It's going to take some time to get through everybody. So just be patient. I know everybody's excited to get their Maverick, and typically if this vehicle is already launched, you could order a vehicle and you can get it a little bit quicker than this, but at launch on a new production, sometimes it just takes a little while. So just be patient. Hopefully you can get yours pulled pretty soon. You may also, if it's been at 19 for a little while, look and see what yours is ordered. What's again, those accessories and such like that. If you take some of those off, it might help that vehicle be pulled there. Okay, so Kimberly, you actually, I saw this 80 come up, so it caught my eyes. So thanks, Tim, for the help from last week. My dealer changed my order from stock to retail. Unfortunately, it's priority 19, but it's better than 80. Yeah. Anything from 20 to 80 means it's a stock order, especially if your dealership ordered your vehicle as a stock hybrid. It's probably not going to be built for a while because they're leaving those hybrids for customer vehicles. So you need to make sure your dealership has ordered yours as a retail order in between 10 and 19. So that way it gets pulled. Otherwise, if it's a stock one, and when the dealership gets stock allocation for hybrids, it'll get pulled, but that's going to be a while right now. So finance out of the state for the free shipping, and do you get approval before you order? No, we usually do that after you order. So go ahead and order, and then when it gets closer, then we'll go ahead and work that out, because things can change in the time between you order and the time that it comes in for financing such. So we usually will do that when it gets closer to the vehicle coming in. If you're unsure, you want to make sure you can get approved, then we can go ahead and pull it ahead of time, just to send it to Ford Credit to have them look at it and say, hey, it's not a problem or anything. But especially first-time buyers, Ford wants to get as many of those first-time buyers out there, so you get some great first-time buyer programs to get you approved, and we shouldn't have a problem. So we can get you approved. So we do a pretty good job here, and on a lot of lenders. We have 11 different lenders here. Would it be wrong for us to ask our dealer to change to 10? Nope. You can always ask to change it from 19 to 10. It's really, up to the dealer. but they should be able to. I have heard a lot of people this week say that, you know, they talked to their dealer about changing their order, and the dealer said they can't change their order. And again, if it's in priority code 2, it can't be changed. So they are correct. But if it's in that 10 to 19, it should be able to be changed and updated if you want to make some changes to your order there. Okay. Are the hard roll-up tonneau strap or Velcro? Could you answer this? Okay, so on those hard folding, if you want to fold it all the way up, there are some straps on it, and they are like a vinyl strap, so you snap into place, keep that against the glass, and then there's usually some bars that kind of come down from the cover to the side that support it up, so it can stay up if you want it up. And then on the tonneau covers, the straps on the roll-up one, that is like a vinyl strap. So it's like a nylon, I should say, not vinyl, a nylon strap that goes around and then snaps into place. So, and they work pretty well. So my dealer told me their allocation is 1 per month. Could that be correct? Yes, it could be. Again, it really depends on the amount of orders a dealership has. We have probably the most orders of anybody in our region at over 300 orders, and so we're getting 45 allocations. So there are dealerships that maybe only have a handful of orders, and they may only get 1 a month, or they may only get 2 a month. So it really depends on how many orders they get. So it could almost help you out if you can get more people to order vehicles. So you need to come into my dealership and order a Maverick. that could maybe help out. And I think they look at the 15th as a deadline of each month. So I think what they usually do is you get all your orders in by the 15th of the month, and then Ford evaluates that and figures out how many allocations you're going to get for the month, for the next month. So they need to have those orders in by the 15th. So that's usually, we'd mentioned July 15th is a deadline for a lot of dealers, because we needed it. You know, the 15th is that deadline to be able to get those allocations figured out for the next month, I should say. All right. Any changes to the 22 Ford F-150? Could you answer this? I haven't seen the order guide yet. I will usually do a what's new for this year and some changes, since I did walk around videos on, you know, the standard as well as optional equipment on the F-150. I didn't get to some of the upper trims because we didn't get a lot of King Ranch and Platinum Unlimiteds in stock this year. But I did them on the XL, XLT, Lariat. So what I'll do is I'll usually do what's new, what's different on the order guide. Ford does a fabulous job on that first page of giving you the changes for the F-150. And I usually go over that. Just did one for the Bronco Sport on what's different. We're in a lot of changes of the Bronco Sport for this year. And for the F-150, you know, 21 was a big year for F-150, so there probably aren't going to be a lot of changes, other than we're going to see we can't order the trimmer. Of course, we could order that and late for 21 as well. So I'll probably see too many changes, but I haven't seen the order guide yet to be able to say for sure. September 4th, I dropped spray and bed liner and upgraded to XLT. I got another order confirmation email from Ford. Does this mean my dealer placed a second order for me? Maybe. They might have. What they might have done is taken that other order, left it in there, and ordered yours again. They should have changed your order. They may not have realized they could do that, because what they should have done to your original order was switch it from an XL to XLT. Maybe they thought since it's a different trim that they had to do another order, but they could have taken your original order, just changed your trim, changed your color. You can change any aspects of your order after you've ordered, as long as it's, of course, still above priority 10, that is. But, you know, just, you know, keep that in mind. They should have been able to do that. You may ask them. You may just go in and say, hey, I'm just curious. I noticed I got another email from Ford, because typically when you change your order, you won't get another email confirmation from Ford. If you got another one, they might have put in another order for you. Either they're taking that order, your original order, or something, or maybe they didn't realize they had to and they canceled that order. But if they didn't cancel that order and they just, you know, and then they just added another one, see if they can just take that original order and switch that around for you, because that kind of helps you keep that place in line for possibly being scheduled. So does a Lariat Luxury have both the 110 outlet included, or do you need the option in? Okay, so on the Lariat Luxury package, you get the outlet in the cab as well as an outlet in the bed. That's on both the luxury package, whether it be an XLT or Lariat Luxury. It's going to come with an outlet in the bed as well as in the cab. Now, if you see the optional 110 outlet that's cab only as a standalone option if you don't get one of the luxury packages. That's just in the cab. It will not come with the one in the bed. Why is the sliding rear window $695 on the XL Maverick? That is a good question. I haven't looked at that package. Are you saying it's different costs for different trims? I might have to look into that, check that out. So how do I figure what priority code is ordered through Long McArthur? We can just look that up. All of ours, we schedule all of ours as a priority 10. But we can look up right now. We have a lot that are scheduled that are moved down to 2. In fact, we have 45 allocations, but we have, I think I looked in like over 60 that are actually priority code 2. We have a bunch that are being looked at because we have a lot of customers within our orders that have the what the region is looking for. But we can always look it up and see if yours is a 2, been dropped down to 2. Really until Thursday. We usually don't reach out to you until yours has been scheduled on Thursday, for sure, because we hate to get your hopes up and, hey, yours is a priority code 2, that's looking really good, and then maybe on Thursday it jumps back up to 10 and they didn't pull yours, and then we got your hopes up. So we'll usually wait until those get pulled on Thursday to reach out to you. When you have a VIN number, that means that you have a build date, correct? Yes, that's correct. Usually when you get, once they have scheduled yours for a build, so like this week, let's say Thursday, if you get scheduled for a build in November, let's say November 1st, the week of November 1st, they'll also give you a VIN number. And that way you can track that order of when it's, if it changes, because sometimes they will need to push it back based on anything happening at the factory, and need to move that date around. So just keep that in mind as well. So can I change my Maverick order to a 21 Bronco 4-door Outer Banks? Well, in that case, that's a totally different model. That's a little different. Within the model, we can change that. On the Bronco, we'd have to just go ahead and order a Bronco for you, and then we would cancel your Maverick order. So in that case, we can't just switch it over, because that's how that works. It's confirmed, but don't. My order is confirmed, but I didn't get a scheduled date. You may not. Usually how it works is you'll submit that order, you'll get the confirmation email from Ford, and then you're just waiting until Ford pulls it to schedule it for a build date. So it's not going to automatically, as soon as you order, schedule you a build date. For, let's say, okay, it's January or whatever. They're going to do it each month for the next. Usually like they're pulling vehicles for scheduling for this month for November production. So it's that far in advance. So you just gotta be patient. Hopefully you get pulled real soon. It really just depends on when you ordered. So what % of the luxury package are being scheduled this week? Not sure. With ours, we can see body codes, we can see front wheel drive, we could see different engines, but we have to go into each of our orders and see which ones that are, at priority code 2 are being previewed, see which ones have luxury packages and which ones don't. So we don't really have that breakdown real easily to look at without going through our 300 orders. How is the Maverick for child's car seat compared to the 2020 Ranger? Depends on if you're talking about the Super Crew or the Super Cab. The Super Crew Ranger, I think it's pretty similar. Been a while since I've been in the back of a Super Crew Ranger, but I did do in the video walk around when we had the Maverick here at the dealership. I did put a car seat in the back, so you can check that video out. We have a Maverick playlist with all the videos that I've done on the Maverick, and in there is a walk around of the Maverick, so check that out, because I actually go in, I do some measuring, I also do car seat and showing you, okay, where I'm 5'10", here's where I'm comfortable sitting, and here's what the car seat looks like in the back. I did rear facing and front facing, so you can check out that video for that information. I got my order on the 1st of the month with party 11. Good. Okay. Oh, just skip down. That means, okay, no, your order number is dictated by the dealership. So what we like to do here at Long McArthur is it's a 4-digit number letter a code basically for your order. And what we like to do is when we order our vehicles for our customers is we like to know what salesperson they belong to. So we have a kind of a cool system, is that the first and last letters is the first and last letters of their name. So if you're a salesperson, like in case it was Mike Mole, we might use M01M. So then when that comes in and that vehicle comes in, we see that M01M, we know that's Mike Mole's order. And then we let them, hey, your truck is here. You know, it's real easy to be able to tell that. So we do that in that way. So that it works out. We have 3 mics, and it still works out pretty well for us. When any of the ones that I have ordered for my family members, it's a T01B or T02B. And that's how we kind of know that. So that's just, every dealership has a different order type or order code, and you can put in your own 4-digit order number, and that's how that's put in there. So doesn't mean you're in 7,777th place necessarily. So yeah, so that's, you know, there's some stuff that you guys don't always know because you don't order vehicles like we do. So it's good asking those questions. So appreciate the question. I got a 920 production and a VIN number. Small dealership in Pennsylvania. Does that mean anything? Not necessarily. If you don't have a lot of orders there, they are going to get a couple of allocations. I know some dealers I've heard that are using their stock allocations because their first couple are stocks for their customers. Hopefully there aren't a lot of dealerships doing that, because you really need to hold on to those vehicles so that people can test drive them and not use your allocations, because I don't think they realize that you don't have to use your allocations for that. You're going to get retail allocations, and most dealerships don't realize that. It's a little bit different on the Maverick from what I understand from our general manager. So, answer: the manual rear window on XL is available if first you add the Copilot 360. Oh yeah, you do have to add the Copilot 360 first. That's probably why it's increased cost. Is I did forget about that. It's been a little while, but you do have to add the Copilot 360 before you get the cover. Thanks for answering that, AH. Channel has the best and most updated Maverick info. Thanks, appreciate it. On the Maverick, on the Bronco, ooh, jumped. Where was I? On the Bronco Sport, what is a tow capacity? I'd have to look that one up. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that one up. If somebody knows the answer, yeah, pop that in there. I'd love to help out, but I'd have to look that up. I can't remember. It's got to be probably close to that 2,000 pounds, I would imagine, as the Maverick is. The dealer said they are not taking any more hybrid orders for the Maverick. Is this true? Could this set mine back? They can take hybrid orders. I think they got mixed up last week, and maybe the message got relayed down from the management at the dealership to the salespeople. But you can order Maverick or hybrids right now. They are scheduling them. There's no delay on hybrids. You know, that is not true. Go in there, let them know. Oh, you should be able to order hybrids. I know other dealerships that are. Can you check and try to order one for me? Go ask them. But if you do have a hybrid on order, don't worry. Hybrids are being scheduled. We're going to see a lot of, I mean, look at the forums on Thursday. Look on the Maverick Truck forum, as well as the Maverick chat, as well as the Reddits and the Facebook groups. You're going to see all kinds of scheduling emails going in there, and a lot of them will be hybrids this week. And I think everybody will be feel at ease this week. And remember, the first week of the month is when most of the allocations happen for production. So they plan, you can see this week they're going to do enough for 2 weeks worth of allocations this week. So there's going to be a lot of vehicles that are going to be scheduled for build dates in November this Thursday, and I think everybody's going to be happy. Not everybody's going to be happy, because not everybody's going to get scheduled, but hopefully a lot of those June hybrid orders are going to be happy, and we'll get some of those scheduled coming up. By the way, mine's not previewing. I ordered a hybrid as well. I'm in the same boat as you guys, and I know that it may be January before mine gets scheduled. Just have to be patient. We'll get through it, and we'll get our vehicles as quick as we can, as quick as Ford can send them to us safely here. Okay, my dealer said they are not taking. Do you think the Maverick would be easier to get in like the February-March timeframe? Well, they're going to ramp up. They did show us numbers of what their goal is for production. They said November. Their goal is 2,700 builds for November, and then they're saying they're forecasting for 4,900 in December. So they're gonna almost double the production and going into December, and then we're just gonna see that kind of steamroll. So we're gonna see a lot of vehicles being scheduled. Again, anytime you have a new vehicle that ramps up, it just needs to kind of build speed, and we're gonna see more and more of those. What is the price of the soft trifold tonneau cover? I can't remember what it is on their website. I believe. I'm not sure what that price is on that. You can look on the build price and it'll be in there. It should be even if you get that afterwards from your dealer, it's the same price as it is from the factory. The only difference is some dealerships might charge you an install fee. But if you can install it yourself, you can. I guess, like I said, McArthur is going to do something special for our customers, and we'll talk about that next week. But I'll try to get really trying to push to have, like, do free installs or something like that, or major discount on the install, because we can install most of them in our bay over here right off the showroom and have it done, and and be able to install it in less than an hour, so it shouldn't cost too much to have that installed. Where will I put my purse? Good question. Don't know. Hopefully there's nobody sitting in the passenger seat. Just kidding, Judy. I'm not sure. I'm not really a great comedian, in case you guys haven't figured that out. Hey, are we talking only about the cars, or okay, exclusive, there's no delays on hybrid orders. Correct. No delay on hybrid orders. Thank you for taking the time to do this every week. Much appreciated. We are over our hour that I try to set, but if you have more questions, I'll sit here for a little longer and answer them if you want. Is the moonroof delayed? No. I don't think we've ever seen the moonroof as having a commodity issue like we did see with the Bronco Sport. At least for right now, looks like we're good to go if you got a moonroof on there. Usually the way I tell people when they're ordering something is, if it's an accessory you can get afterwards or get installed real easily afterwards, you can leave that off. But if it's something that really needs to be done at the factory, like a moonroof, like the sliding rear window, like the 110 outlet, put those in your builds. I did that with mine on my Bronco. Okay, I wanted the auxiliary switches, so I ordered it. But I'm ordering some other stuff like the modular front bumper. I decided to take those off my order, and I'm going to have those installed here at the dealership. So there's some things that you can, if they're accessories, you can do those afterwards at the dealer. But if it's stuff that's really a factory installed option, add that to your build. Don't let that stop you. If you really want a moonroof, if you really want that outlet in the back, put those on your build. The sliding rear window, that kind of stuff, go ahead and put those on your build. Don't let that stop you and hold it off. If it's something that you're on the fence on, I'm like, don't know if I really will use the moonroof much, that's really up to your choice. But don't let it dictate what you do and don't choose there. You don't have to make it. Is a soft bed cover you showed earlier, this is the same as the soft bed cover for the Maverick Lariat first edition? I'm not sure. Our trainer, I believe what he said was the soft roll-up one is what I believe you get on the first edition. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe I'll try to reach out to the brand manager and see if I can get clarification on what that might look like, and maybe I can get some pictures for next week. I'll do the best I can, put that out there. Let me write that down. First edition bed cover. So I'll see if we can figure out what that's gonna look like. If it's I don't think it's the trifold cover. I think it is it's the roll-up cover, but I'll find out for sure. Because I think like a lot of people are frustrated because they want like the aluminum bed cover instead of what comes on the first edition, and you can't order it with it. And I think probably you can get that again after you're from your dealership. Take the first edition one off, put it on. So I'll find out, see if I can get some information on what that bed cover looks like for the first edition there. Cool. Okay, dealers should make all customers order at priority code 10. And again, the priority code 10 to 19, as long as every order at the dealership is the same, it really won't affect you. If one dealership does theirs at 10, another dealership does theirs at 19, Ford's looking for what's the highest priority at that dealership. So it doesn't matter if the dealership down the road does 19 and we do 10, doesn't mean ours is going to get pulled before theirs. It's going to give you, if you come around and your dealership has an allocation, it's going to look at the lowest priority within your dealership that fits their needs and what they're looking for that week. Keep that in mind. Thanks for another great weekly update video. 2 minutes. I appreciate. I'm glad you guys like these, and I'll keep doing this. I love helping out. This can be a complicated process. Some of you are ordering Mavericks for the first time. Some of you are first time doing a custom build, and being able to process this for you guys is just it's just my way to help out the community and help you guys out. And I really, that's just what we do around here. You know, even if you order from somebody else, we just want to make sure that, you know, customers out there are getting what they're wanting, and we just like to do that. What accessories are not dealer installed? Well, let me pull up the order guide on here. I can go through that if you guys don't mind sticking on. I can go through some of those for you. Order guide folder here. So let me pull the Maverick order guide up and I'll tell you. Okay. So some of the main ones are the ones I kind of already talked about. So on the XL, your factory installed options are your freestanding options, is what's going to say on the order guide, is your bed extender, it says, which really, I know that's not showing as a dealer installed option or accessory, but a bed extender could be put on by your dealership afterwards. The 110 outlet in the cab, that is a factory option. Make sure the factory does, and we'll put on there. Engine block heater is also a factory option you want to put on. I think the dealership could do it, but I would probably, if I were you, I'd put the block heater in from the factory. Full size spare, you'd want the factory to do that. They put all the harness and all in there. That'd probably be something you'd want to get at the factory. The sliding rear window is a factory. Moonroof is a factory option. The hitch, want to do that because the wiring comes with it, so you want to do that at the factory as well. So those are your main factory ones. The rest are like dealer installed options, so they're actually shipped with your vehicle or their accessories, and then the dealer would put them, install them, you know, like bed divider kit, all that like that. You know, your covers are usually, you know, they do have the covers, the bed covers listed as a freestanding option at the factory. And so the factory would install it, but also, again, it's something you can get at the dealership here. But I think I covered all those. So, and then XLT is usually about the same option that you're going to want to get. Any upgraded wheels, so if you get the aggressive tire, all-terrain tire, a wheel with aggressive all-terrain tire, that's going to be a factory option. You want, again, the 400 watt outlet, the engine block heater, your moonroof, your sliding rear window, your spare tire, the hitch receiver, again, those are all the same ones there. Any upgrades to the others, anything that's dealer installed can be put on at the dealership. So tailgate lock and stuff like that, some of these even can be put on by you. It looks like the console vault is actually a dealer installed option, so it is also something they should be able to get from dealer afterwards, as well as the touch light. That's a dealer installed option. There really aren't too many options there that you would need to get from the factory. You know, the big ones are the sliding rear window, your moonroof, your hitch, the 110 outlet, the 400 watt outlet. Those are probably the three you'd want to make sure that you get from the factory. That would probably be the best there. So hopefully that helps answer some of that questions. That. All right, now we're going on an hour and 12 minutes. Okay, average. Does the tow hooks on the XLT covered up under bumper, or those were? I'm assuming you're meaning the tow hooks in the back, because I don't believe they come with tow hooks in the front unless you're FX4 package, I believe. Right, FX4 package, I think it's the tow hooks front. Otherwise, I don't think you get tow hooks front. And I actually might get this with the F-150. Exposed front tow hooks is on the FX4 package. They're in the spots in the bumper. They're already kind of there, and then when you get that, they're going to be there instead. How much would you charge to put in the drop-in liner at the dealership? Could you answer that? Okay, so the drop-in liner, yeah, that can be done at the dealership. Usually it's pretty easy to install. They usually just got to take the caps off the top and install it in, put the caps into place. I'm not a big fan of the drop-in liners because I don't feel like they sit really snug against the bed. but some people like that instead of a spray-in liner. And so that shouldn't take maybe an hour install fee, so something like that. So maybe $80-$100, depends on the dealership what they charge. Does the XLT have the 400 watt outlet standard? Could you answer that? No, it does not. So XLT, the only way you get an outlet in the XLT is going to the luxury package, and then or you can add the optional 400 watt outlet in the cab. It's a standalone option. They answered that. All right, any others? About the Lightning specifically, yes, I can answer some questions about the Lightning for what we know so far. Really excited to get the order guides on the F-150 Lightning. I have one of those on reservation as well. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the packaging and what's on each of the trims. I think they're still putting that together, but some of the basic questions I could probably answer are out to have details about what is expected as far as range while towing. Do have tow ranges for the F-150 Lightning. So the standard battery, standard towing is going to be 5,500 pounds, maybe 5,000 pounds, but right around that 5,000 pound range. If you get the tow package on the standard battery, you're going to get 7,700 pounds of towing. On the extended battery, it's going to come with 7,700 pounds of towing, and if you get the optional tow package, it takes it to 10,000 pounds of towing. So that's how that works. And basically, getting the tow package gives you not just the hitch, it also gives you some cooling for those batteries, because those batteries will heat up on when it's towing and under load. So it's going to give you that cooling for those batteries to help cool it off and allow it to run. There will be a nice the tow tech package that's going to come that you can get as optional equipment. That tow tech package won't increase your towing capability anymore, but it's going to give you some things to help you tow better. So you have 360-degree camera, you have your Pro Backup Assist, you're going to have integrated trailer brake controller, some of those features, the hitch, the wiring, the smart trailer tow connector, and all that kind of stuff that comes with that. So, okay, did I miss? I recently switched my order from the Maverick XL Hybrid to the XLT Hybrid, which it could take so long. Tow tools on FX4, I ordered that also. The tow tools on FX4, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there. Drop-in causes water to get trapped under it and rust the bed. Yeah, that's another reason too on the drop-in liner is I feel like you get water under there, and it seems like every reused one we've gotten in always had some rust underneath, or just looked really dirty underneath off. Grand bin liner. Yeah, you can get our spraying liners we're charging the same price as the factory is, and we're doing a lifetime warranty on our spraying liners. So ordered and paid for a Maverick on 8/18, but I got confirmation, but nothing since. Any idea when we may hear something? Depends on, again, what you ordered, how you ordered it, and what allocations your dealership has. If you order it with us, it was an EcoBoost. About 97 of our orders are EcoBoost, and let's see, we've had 25 of those, so it gets you down to about 75. And so out of our 43, I think there were, what we figure, about 25 of those are going to be EcoBoost, so that still leaves about 50 more EcoBoost. So if you ordered an EcoBoost, probably we could get scheduled next month, possibly. So just depends. Again, really depends on the allocations to the dealers and such. Our power mirrors just mirrors that can be adjusted controls or with the auto. Yeah, you just control the face. So you'll have a switch inside, and then mirrors you can adjust the glasses, so they will not be able to auto fold. That's not an option whatsoever, even on the Lariat trim. Well, anyway, I think I've answered a lot of questions, and keep dropping those questions. I do try to respond to those in the comments. So I appreciate everybody's questions, and still have 400 people in here. So I'm really just excited that you guys. I just can't believe how excited everybody is about this product. It is a great product. Looking forward to seeing it and seeing more of those in the dealership, and being able to do some test drives and such. So again, if you guys are wanting to, put a thumbs up down in the comments right now if you want us to do this same thing next week. If you want some more Q&A next week, and then updated news. I'll do it again next week. So we'll keep doing these live streams every week as long as you guys want them. So put those, give me that thumbs up there, and we'll keep doing these week in and week out. So, and I think next week we're gonna have a lot of people are gonna be excited because they're gonna have there'll probably be a lot of people that'll get production dates next week, and so I think you'll really be happy there. So again, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed, hit the red subscribe button down there. That way you can get subscribed to the channel. Hit the notification bell, and that way you can get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to our channel. This week we are going to be working on some videos. We are a Black Widow and Rocky Ridge dealer, and we're getting a bunch of those in right now because we ordered a ton of them 6 months ago when we could get some allocations on F-150s. And so we have, those are trickling in now from Rocky Ridge and SCA. And so we're going to do a video. I've done actually a video on the Rocky Ridge K2 package as well as the Black Widow package. But also they have other packages on each of those, an Apex and an XP package. I'm probably going to do some videos on those this week, as well as the difference and why maybe you would want to choose a Black Widow versus the Apex, or for the Rocky Ridge, whether you want the K2 or the XP. So we do some of those types of videos, as well as I probably need to be doing, we got some inventory in finally, so I might be doing some other different walk around videos, my full thorough complete guide walk arounds on a couple of vehicles. So thanks for all the thumbs up. So I guess we'll be back next week for another live stream. So until then, I thanks a lot. Smash that like button, and I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. And hopefully I answered all the questions that I could, and hopefully you get all your questions answered. And don't forget to find me on social media. A lot of you are reaching out to me on Facebook or on Reddit, even in the Maverick Truck Club. If you're on the Maverick Chat or Maverick Truck Club, I'm in there as Ford Video Guy, all one word. If you're on, of course, Facebook, Reddit, or even on Twitter, I'm Tim Bartz on there. So you just find me that way. So again, thanks for watching the video, and until next week, we'll see you later. Have a great day, everybody.